How do I feel about our government? Just one second. Governments around the world are failing to represent people, meaning they're broken, essentially. And it's easy to understand why this is when you examine their structures. From the roots of how elections function and select their members, to lobbyists and stagnant bureaucracies, to the most dysfunctional part, having one person or small groups of people trying to represent the interest of the masses. The issue with this is due to the selective nature of our elections. The majority of representatives are only representing a small minority, as 50% of people aren't actually voting, and a person can win an election with as little as 30% of the voting population. So we have to cut that number in half, leaving us with 15%, potentially 15% of the voting population being represented somewhat accurately. Do you see the issue with this? Now, let's throw in some corporate lobbyists. You know, the people that are legally allowed to bribe our leaders, obviously persuading them to act in their company's interests. Throw mountains of unnecessarily complicated paperwork on top, and we have a perfect recipe for an unhealthy global society. I imagine there are much better ways of doing things. In fact, there are people and groups designing and proposing new alternatives, such as your political party's idea, which is proposing to create a platform where people can stay involved with government decision making between elections. The YPP also propose a completely transparent government. I suggest you look them up. I'll leave a link in the description below. As for my opinion and what I believe a better governing body could look like, well, I'll leave that rant for another time, but I will say that I believe the YPP is on the right track. Thanks for watching, and please watch the rest of the videos in this playlist. And remember, the first step to solving any issue, to solving any problem, is realizing that you have one.